spending more than ever on healthy eating, and the food producers know it.
As consumers get smarter, superfood claims get bigger. They say they'll make you fitter.
Does this stuff really do the do?
Smarter.
So this is your brain.
Look at that.
Younger.
Do you mind if I ask you how old you are?
Why, please, Kevin?
We're bombarded by words like antioxidants, phytochemicals, flavonols. But what does it all mean?
I'm on a global quest for the truth behind the hype.
Hello, Morocco.
Investigating.
How do you turn this boiled soybean into natto?
Testing.
What is it?
And participating in the latest cutting-edge science.
That's my liver, gosh.
It's time
Ooh.
to put superfoods under the microscope.
Do you think this is a superfood? To help you decide if they really are super.
This week, I'm in California, the spiritual home of superfoods, finding out if avocados could make your burger better for you.
In the name of science.
Get it down, yeah.
And I'm in Scandinavia, checking out if cinnamon could help prevent type 2 diabetes. But do you eat it or wear it? But first, I'm off to Thailand to see if red hot chilies can take the burn out of heartburn.
Worldwide, people are developing a taste for chilies, and in the UK, sales of chili sauce are going up year on year. Now, we all know, eat too many of these and you might regret it.
Spicy food is well known for giving you heartburn, but surprising research in Thailand suggests that eating red hot chilies could actually relieve the pain. My first stop is the floating market at Dam Nguyen Saduak, where they sell chilies by the bucket load.
Sawadee ka! Prick, prick.
พริกของไทยแลนด์
Oh, dried chilies.
ของไทยแลนด์
How long would it take you to get through one of these bags?
อาทิตย์หนึงก็หมดละ
Chilies were introduced into Thailand from the Americas in the 16th century. Today, they're a cheap and staple part of the Thai diet, served up with almost everything.
Hey, pig! It's really hot. Wow. That chili is really pack a punch. Do you think that chili is good for you?
ดีค่ะดีกับร่างกายค่ะแล้วมันร้อนดีอะเหงื่อออกค่ะ
กินดีไปกินพริกเยอะๆหน่อย สุขภาพดีใบหน้าสวย
Oh, really?
Chilies may or may not be the key to beauty, but I'm interested in their pain-busting potential. So I've arranged to have a spicy lunch with Dr. Tanisa Pacharat Rakul and her patient Off.
Sawadee ka! Oh, look at this. You've got lots of chili.
Off uses chili on doctor's orders to help soothe severe symptoms of heartburn.
ช่วงแรกๆเป็นแบบแน่นเหมือนมีอะไรมาติดอยู่ตรงหน้าอกแล้วแบบนอนคือไม่สามารถนอนราบกับพื้นได้
His symptoms still getting worse so I advise him to keep eating the spicy food that would be okay for him.
What you said just flies in the face of all conventional advice around heartburn. Don't eat spicy food. Stay off the chilies.
Yes, we found that chili help. It will desensitize the pain.
So long term, consuming chili can actually help a condition like heartburn.
Long-term eating is good for that.
That's an extraordinary claim, and I want to know if there's evidence to back it up. So I'm headed across town to meet Dr. Tanisa's colleague, who's led several pioneering trials with chilies.
When you're back home! This is the only way to travel.
I've come to King Chulalongkorn Hospital, where Professor Sutiep Gonlachanvit has been studying chilies and the effects on our pain receptors for over 10 years.
Ah, chilies. Which are hotter, green or red?
The red one is hot.
Gosh, how about these ones then?
This one, very big chili, is not hot. It have less capsaicin compared to small chili and less chili.
Capsaicin is the compound in chili which gives us a burning sensation. Surprisingly, it's not concentrated in the seeds, but in the white pith around them.
I can eat that. It's going to be quite hot. As long as you eat yours.
Okay, we can have. How do you feel?
It's hot. Oh my goodness, I feel like there's a dagger being thrust into the back of my throat.
From 0 to 10.
8.5, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9 is getting 9.
Do you want to cry now?
I want to cry. It's painful.
But for me, it's about 4 or 5.
Oh, really?
Because I don't eat chilies as often as Sutiap, my pain threshold is lower, and it's this difference which is at the heart of his research.
In UK, most patients not get used to chili. In Thailand, nearly every day people here have chili. In Thai patient, the receptor that perceive acid reflux is desensitized.
We all have pain receptors throughout our digestive system. Some can be activated when acid rises out of the stomach, causing heartburn. These nerve endings can also be triggered by capsaicin, causing the burning sensation we feel after eating spicy food. But Sutiap's research suggests that eating chilies frequently can actually dull our pain receptors, taking the heat out of chilies and the ouch out of heartburn.
When you eat chili, you'll be feeling a 4, a 4, a 4, a 4. Whereas when I eat chili, I'll be getting a 9, a 9, a 9, a 9, a 9.
Yeah.
In a pilot study, Sutiap found that eating 3 grams of chili a day for 6 weeks dramatically decreased the burning sensation felt by patients with heartburn.
So if somebody had heartburn, what would you recommend to them?
They have only 2 choices. So don't have chili at all, or have it every day. If you take it for long term and you stop it for a few days, the receptor will become active again.
Oh my goodness. Basically, it's red curries all round, isn't it?
Yes.
Oh, one thing's for sure, I'm never ever going head to head on a chili challenge with a Thai ever again.
If eaten occasionally, this scorching spice can make some digestive conditions worse, but a hefty daily dose seems to have the opposite effect, relieving pain.
More research needs to be done, but in the meantime, I'm adding extra chili. We're told that eating too much fat is bad for our health, increasing the chance of heart attacks, strokes, and a whole host of other issues. But what if you could still eat what you wanted, but actually lower some of those risks? What's more, do so by eating even more fat.
I love avocados, so when I heard that their fat content could have an effect on bad fats, I had to investigate. Health-conscious Americans are also massive fans, so to find out more, I've come to California, where 90% of US avocados are grown.
Okay, look. Avocado, avocado, avocado. Yeah, it's pretty much everywhere.
I'm headed to Sunset Boulevard to meet avocado aficionado Meredith Baird, a raw food chef and author.
Hi, Meredith.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Yeah, you too. I've never seen avocados on as many menus as I have here in LA. I mean, they're everywhere.
Avocados are starting to be recognized for their health benefits. I eat a whole avocado pretty much every single day.
Avocados are full of vitamins A and E, as well as other nutrients and minerals. But the average 170-gram Hass avocado also contains 25 grams of fat.
We've been really misled about the whole fat conversation. It's been like low fat, low fat, low fat, and fat is such an essential part of our diet. You have to have healthy fat. Now, avocados are one of the best ways to get that. It also helps you absorb nutrients. It's great for your hair. It gives you the glow.
Meredith, like a lot of people in LA, seems to be pretty sold on the health benefits of avocado. But I need some hard facts.
As well as being a source of good fat, I've heard reports that eating avocado can counteract poor vascular health caused by an unhealthy diet. To find out more, I'm meeting Dr. David Heber at UCLA.
Hello, Dr. Heber.
Oh, hello, Kate. How are you?
I'm
Good
good.
to see you.
Now, I hear that you know that everything there is to know about avocados.
Well, I've been working with them for a long, long time.
You are Mr. Avocado, and you're even dressed appropriately too. I love that.
Dr. David Heber has been the director of the Center for Human Nutrition at UCLA for over 20 years.
Why is the avocado particularly good for vascular health?
Say that you ate a fast food meal, say hamburger, French fries, and so forth, and cola. That fat gets into your bloodstream, and your blood vessels will suddenly constrict and actually inhibit their normal function.
So, how can a good fat that's contained in an avocado help combat a bad fat that's in a burger or chips?
Well, you know, the avocado has in it a combination of a very healthy fat called monounsaturated or omega-9 fat in combination with this green color. And in this green color is an antioxidant called lutein. Lutein gets into your bloodstream, and this counteracts some of the effects of the bad fats.
When bad fats enter the blood, they're thought to cause inflammation, stiffening and narrowing our blood vessels. This slows the blood flow to the brain and other organs, limiting their supply of oxygen and essential nutrients. When we eat avocados, Dr. Heber's research suggests that lutein and other antioxidants relax our blood vessels and increase vital blood flow around our bodies.
So, are you telling me that a side of avocado can help combat other bad fats that might be on your plate?
Absolutely.
Sounds too good to be true. Later, in the name of science, I have to face a boil-in-the-bag burger to see the effects of avocado myself.
I am absolutely opting for the avocado.
And I'm heading to Scandinavia to find out if their love affair with cinnamon could have real health benefits.
I've never eaten so much cinnamon in my life.
I'm in California, where avocados are so popular they've been voted the state fruit. And now, scientists here in LA believe adding them to our diet could help combat bad fats. To demonstrate, Dr. Heber needs 2 volunteers to eat identical burgers, specially prepared with a 20% fat content. Difference is, one will be topped with avocado.
Would you like to have the burger alone or the burger with the avocado?
I am absolutely opting for the avocado. I know just the guy who can help me with burger eating. Phil, do you want to eat a burger?
Phil is getting the plain burger, but before we tuck in, we need to measure how wide and flexible our blood vessels are right now.
This is living the dream, isn't it? If you were a big meat eater, coming to work, lying down for half an hour, and then eating a big burger.
Mm-hmm.
So here goes.
Good burger?
It's quite dry.
Plow on.
2 hours later, and time to measure our blood vessels again. After that, Dr. Heber can reveal how my avocado burger compares with Phil's plain one.
So Phil ate the burger.
Right.
What happened to his arteries?
Well, what we see is a stiffening of his blood vessels after he ate the hamburger. We can see the numbers here. Basically, he went from 2.72 down to 2.15.
What is that number?
That number measures how flexible your blood vessel is. So if it was very flexible, you'd have a higher number. And if it's a little more stiff, the number would be less.
I cannot actually believe that one burger causes a stiffening of the arteries like that. What about my burger with avocado? Did it make any difference?
Well, what we see in yours is actually that the number went up. It went from 2.15 up to 2.64. And what that means is that your vessels were more flexible. That's the opposite of what we saw with Phil.
Ah, so it worked?
Yeah. What we saw in our study was that there was a decrease in flexibility of about 27% on average in people who ate the burger alone. And in the people who ate it with the avocado, there was only about a 4% reduction.
That's pretty impressive,
It is
isn't it?
impressive.
But adding avocado isn't carte blanche to eat burgers every day.
Nothing is carte blanche. There is no food that you can put in which will be an eraser for all of your bad habits.
Now, I didn't think that it could be possible for me to love avocado any more than I already do, but it has happened. The science is very promising. If that doesn't get your blood pumping, I don't know what will. Over here, we're more used to sprinkling cinnamon over a coffee or adding a few sticks to a festive mulled wine. But just across the North Sea, there are some interesting studies into how this stuff could help control blood sugar levels. Here in Denmark, I've been told that they have a bit of a bonkers tradition that involves cinnamon. These chaps are going to fill me in. Seb?
Yeah. Hi.
Hi. Kate, how are you doing? I'm not entirely sure what this crazy tradition is. What do you guys do?
When you are 25 years old and you're not married, then your friends actually jump you when you have a birthday and give you cinnamon. Just throw it on you.
So they just shower you with cinnamon?
Yeah.
How old are you?
I'm 25.
What?
This bachelor bashing custom called Pebbersvend started over 500 years ago. The intention was to publicly shame spice merchants who were far too busy travelling the world to settle down and find a wife.
Oh, wow, that's good.
A cinnamon shower is one way of spicing up your life, but I prefer to eat mine. So I'm heading to Sweden, and that means crossing one of the longest bridges in Europe.
Behind me is Denmark. 2 miles in front of me is Sweden.
In Sweden, they love cinnamon so much they even have a national cinnamon bun day. Alex Pelly is part of a team of bakers who make over 1,000 buns a week.
Cinnamon bun, is it quite a big part of the Swedish diet?
It's an everyday thing, and everyone growing up with their grandma making them as well. And you stand there, 5 years old, wee high, and you do the snows and stuff.
Traditional cinnamon buns are made with a sweet dough covered with a thick layer of sugared butter.
Do you think it's good for you, cinnamon?
Yeah, I would think so.
Do you think it's good for you in this form?
One is all right, one a day.
Blimey, it's still a lot of butter and sugar, isn't it?
Finally, cinnamon, mixed with even more sugar. The average Swede eats over 300 cinnamon buns a year. Surely that can't be good for their blood sugar levels.
More sugar.
Yeah.
More sugar. That is delicious. Even if cinnamon turns out to be a little bit good for you, there's no way that it's going to offset all the butter and sugar in that.
Cinnamon tastes good, but I want to find out if it's also good for our health. So I'm at Skåne University Hospital in Lund to meet Dr. Joanna Lebovich. Joanna's a cardiovascular researcher who studies the effects of the spice on blood sugar spikes.
Ah, Dr. Lebovich?
Yeah, sure.
Kate.
Hi,
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
So, tell me, you've been doing a lot of work on cinnamon.
Yes, we have looked at cinnamon lowering blood sugar levels when you eat it with a carbohydrate. So you have less sugar spike and you feel less hungry.
To show how this may work, Phil and I have agreed to yet more tests, all in the name of science and food.
I try not to scream.
Joanna needs to establish our blood sugar levels before we eat.
3.9. 4.9.
And boy, are we hungry.
We both haven't eaten since last night in preparation for this experiment.
And for this morning's breakfast, a carb-heavy rice pudding. Phil gets his pudding plain, mine comes with a dose of cinnamon.
How much cinnamon do you want me to add to my rice pudding?
6 grams, so you have a really good effect.
I've never eaten so much cinnamon in my life. I've definitely pulled the short straw.
Breakfast over, Joanna now needs to do 6 more blood tests over the next 2 hours to track our blood sugar levels.
What happens in the body when I eat carbohydrate?
The carbohydrate is digested into glucose, and the cells take up the glucose by using insulin.
When we eat foods that contain carbohydrates, they pass through the stomach into the small intestine and are broken down into glucose. Some glucose enters the bloodstream to fuel our body's organs and cells. If food is high in sugar or starch, our blood sugar levels can rise sharply or spike. To prevent spikes, the pancreas releases a hormone called insulin, which keeps blood sugar levels stable.
Why is a sugar spike bad?
If you have spikes, then you crash down the sugar, and then you get hungry and you reach for another biscuit and you start the cycle again. And then your pancreas really gets tired. It's producing more insulin, and finally you can maybe develop type 2 diabetes.
Type 2 diabetes is a growing public health issue worldwide. Here in the UK, it affects more than 4 million of us.
What role does cinnamon have to play in all of that?
We saw that the cinnamon lowers the blood sugar levels, and probably by stimulating the insulin receptor to take up more glucose inside your cells.
So the theory is that cinnamon triggers our cells to take in more glucose after we eat, helping our body to deal more effectively with a rise in blood sugar and preventing a spike.
5.7.
I'm intrigued to know what Phil's is.
If the cinnamon's worked, my blood sugar levels won't rise as fast or peak as high as Phil's.
So these are our results.
Yes, and you see that Phil, that ate only rice pudding, had a spike.
So Phil's blood sugars peaked 30 minutes into the experiment and crashed to a lower point than when we started, whereas mine increased and then fell at a steadier rate.
Does this tally with results that you've seen from your studies?
Yes.
So overall, how much of a difference does cinnamon make?
Almost like 50% lower.
That is substantial, isn't it?
Yeah.
However, that was a really tough bowl of rice pudding for me to eat.
I know.
Is that how much cinnamon you need in order to have that effect?
You can eat a smaller amount cinnamon, like 1 gram maybe, but there seems to be a dose effect. So if you eat a lot of cinnamon, the effect will be greater.
But there could be a problem eating large amounts. Cinnamon contains a substance called coumarin, which may be harmful to your liver. EU guidelines suggest consuming no more than 3 grams per day.
Joanna's research is surprising, and if she's right, even just a teaspoon of cinnamon could help prevent us craving sweet treats by reducing sugar spikes, which in turn, according to her, in the long run might even help prevent type 2 diabetes.
And of course, if you do suffer with diabetes, don't change your diet or medication without consulting your doctor. There's a whole world of so-called superfoods, many promoted as having lots of health benefits. My advice is to do your homework and find out if they live up to all the claims. And once you're happy, enjoy the huge range of foods on offer.
Tuck in. You might be surprised.
Helping people with severe and disabling health issues transform their lives. Make My Body Better with Davina McCall. Brand new next Monday at 8. Brand new next tonight, Jimmy Carr tries to pin down some answers to all sorts of questions in the big fat quiz of everything.